Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to migrate your existing WordPress website to a new domain or to a new hosting provider without the need for any WordPress plugins. So as you can see here on my screen, I have my test development website called dev.manzeri.com. And what we're going to do is migrate this entire WordPress website over to a new domain. And for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to use demo5.manzeri.com. I just say 5 because I have other demo sites, so we'll just use that one. So demo5.manzeri.com. Now, right now you can see there's nothing here. It's completely blank, and it says the connection is not secure, or the connection is not private. So we'll fix that here in just a second. So the first step, what we need to do is add the domain that you're going to use to the cPanel on the destination server where you want to migrate to. So go into your cPanel, and whether you're using GoDaddy or HostGator, Bluehost, cPanel should look pretty similar regardless of who your hosting provider is for the most part. Once you're in your cPanel, go to the domain section and click on domains, and then click create a new domain. And then in the domain box, just put in the domain that you're going to use. In most cases, you're probably going to use the same domain because you're moving to another host. So just put your website there. In my case, I'm going to use demo5.manzeri.com because I'm not changing hosting providers for the purposes of this tutorial. I'm just going to change the domain name, but the process is exactly the same. It's just faster to do it this way, so we're not dealing with DNS propagation and things like that. So demo5.manzeri.com, and then leave this box unchecked and hit submit. And it'll just take a second to create the domain, and then you'll get this little success message that it's been added. So now if we come over here and refresh the page, we see that there's no difference, there's no change here. What we need to do is secure the domain by using what's called AutoSSL. So if you go back to your cPanel, you're going to go down to the security section, and it's called there's an option called SSL/TLS. Click on that, and then in the search box type in your domain. So I'm going to put in demo5, and it brings up all my sites that have demo in it, but here's the two that we need: demo5.manzeri.com and www.demo5. So we want both versions. So click both and then run AutoSSL. And what this will do is secure the domain so that this message or this warning message goes away. So it's usually pretty quick. There it goes. So now we have demo5.manzeri.com. You can see up here the connection is secure. All right, so the steps that we're going to do today, we've already done these two. Add the domain to the cPanel. That's done. We've enabled the AutoSSL, so we can cross that off. Next thing we need to do is create our FTP credentials for the destination server where we're going to be migrating our website over to. So go back to your cPanel. You're going to go under the Files section, and you're going to see an option called FTP accounts. Click on that, and then you just give your FTP account a username and make note of it. You'll need it later. So I'll use demo5. For the domain, make sure you're using the new domain or whatever domain you're migrating to. So in my case, I'm using demo5. So we're going to choose demo5.manzeri.com. And then I'm going to just make up a password. For directory, delete what's ever in there out. We don't want nothing in there because we want to put our files from the old site into the root. So we're going to leave this box blank, and then we're going to click create FTP account. And that'll just take a second to create. Okay, done. Now that that's completed, we can cross that off on our list. Next step is to create a new database and user on the new site. So go back to cPanel, go down to the databases section, and click on Manage My Databases. And then you're going to give your database a name. I'm going to call it Demo5. Click Create Database. It tells you that it was added. Go back. and we're going to go down. We're going to create a user. Same thing. I'm just going to call it demo5. And then make up a password. And make note of this password. You will need it later. And then click create user. Go back. All right, now what we need to do is come down a little bit further, and we're gonna find the user that we just created, which is demo5, and we're gonna assign it to the database. So demo5 user to the demo5 database, click add, and then on this screen here, just choose all privileges, and then hit make changes. And then you'll get this little box up here, or this little success message letting you know that it everything was done successfully. So just click up here at the top left on the cPanel icon to go back to your cPanel. All right, so we're done with the database, the user, and the privileges, so we can cross that off. Next thing we need to do is create an FTP account on the site that we're migrating from. So go into the cPanel on the site that you're migrating from. In my case, it's the same cPanel. I have everything here. We're just changing the domain. So go back to FTP accounts, and we're going to choose the demo site, or the dev site, the one that we're migrating from, which is dev.manzeri.com. And for the login, just come up with whatever username you want. I'll use dev site old. And then come up with a password in here. And then same thing, we want to delete what's in the directory box out, because all of our files are actually stored in the root. So we don't want to create another directory. This is what this is trying to do, is create a directory to put all those files. So we don't want to do that. We want to just delete everything out of here and click create FTP account. And it'll just take a second to make that. Okay, done. So that's been created. Next thing we're going to do, let's see. So we've created the FTP account from the site that we're migrating away from. Cross that off. Next thing is we're going to export the database from phpMyAdmin. So go back to your cPanel on the site that we're going to migrate from, and you're going to go to phpMyAdmin. Now, when you're in here, you need to find the database of your site. So in this case, we're trying to migrate this website. So we need the database for dev.manzeri.com. Now, if you don't know which database is for your site, like I know which one it is, it's this one right here. But if you don't know, because say you have a bunch of different databases in here and you just don't know which one it is, just go to your cPanel, go to File Manager, click on your domain. So right here we have dev.manzeri.com. In your case, your WordPress site might actually be located in what's called the public HTML folder. So that may be where you have your site. That's usually where it goes. I just happen to have them outside of that folder, but either way, go to your file manager for your current site and look for the wp-config.php file, which is right here. Right click it, hit edit, and edit once more. You're going to see right here in the middle under database settings, you're going to see the name of the database, which is your prefix, and then it's the XELCG. So that's the one we want. So if we go back to right here, phpMyAdmin, and it's this one right here, XELCG. Just click on it, click on the database, it'll show you all the tables within. Just come up here with this one selected, just click export, and then export again, and it's going to download the database to your downloads folder or wherever you have it going. And we'll just leave it there for the time being. Okay, so that step is done. Next thing we're going to do is use FileZilla to download all of our WordPress files to our computer. So first we need to grab all of our WordPress files. Now, if you don't have FileZilla, all you got to do is just go to Google and type in FileZilla, and it's this one right here. Just click download FileZilla client, or you can use any FTP client of your choice. I prefer FileZilla. I think that's the easiest one. So we're going to open up FileZilla, and it's going to tell you to put in your host, username, and password. So this is going to be the host, username, and password of the FTP credentials of your existing site, because we need to grab those files. So the username that we made earlier, well, let's just see. Let's go back to FTP accounts, and it's this one right here, dev_site_old at dev.manzeri.com. So Control C, and we're going to paste that into the username box of FileZilla. The password is whatever password you gave it earlier, and the host is going to be the IP address of the server. Just click cPanel icon, and it's usually right here under shared IP in your cPanel. So Control C and paste that into the host. For the port, you can leave it blank or put 21. It really doesn't matter. And then you're going to click Quick Connect, and then just hit OK on this screen if that pops up. And what you're going to see is a left and right side of this client. The left side is your computer. This is everything that's like all your PC files. Everything on the right hand side is actually what's on your server. So what we need to do is find our website. Like I said, for you, your site is probably going to be under public HTML. So just double click under public HTML, and you'll most likely see your WordPress files here. In my case, I have them outside of that folder. So dev.manzeri.com is right here. So we're going to double click this, and actually we just move this up here so we can see it more. All right, so in here we see all of our WordPress files for dev.manzeri.com. So what we need to do is select all these files, and we're going to move them to our computer. But first, before we do anything, go to your desktop. At least this is what I'm going to do. Go to your desktop, create a new folder, and just call it old site files. And what we're going to do is we're going to export all of our files to this folder. So now go back to the FTP client, go on the left hand side, look for that folder, which is right here. And what we're going to do is drag all of these files into this old site files folder. The easiest way to do that is click on the first one, and don't worry about the one with the 2 dots. Just leave that one unselected. We don't need it. Click on the first one below that. Make sure it's in blue. Hold down the Shift key, and then click on the last one, and it'll select all of them. And then you're just going to drag it on top of old site files. And at this point, it's going to start moving all these files into that folder. This will take several minutes, depending on how big your site is. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Once this is completed, I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back and everything is done. So as you can see here, we have all of our site files in this folder called old site files. These are all of our WordPress files that we took off of our server using FileZilla. So now that that's done, we come back here and we can cross this off. This step is complete. Now what we need to do is zip all the files and upload them to the new server's root folder, and then we're going to extract those files. So let's break this down one step at a time. So go back to your desktop, right click the folder with all your files, and then you're going to choose compress and then say zip file. And it'll just take a couple of minutes or longer depending on your PC, and it's going to zip that folder up. And as you can see, there's a little icon with a zipper on there showing that this folder has been zipped. So now what we're going to do is move this folder into the root directory of the new site. So go back to FileZilla, and same thing, you're going to log in, but now we need to use the FTP credentials for the new site. So if you don't remember your credentials, just go back to your FTP accounts for the new site. In my case, it's all on the same server, so it's going to be under the same cPanel. But we're going to use this one right here, demo5. We're going to paste that into the username box. Make sure you get rid of any unwanted spaces. Put in your password. And then for the host, same thing, you want the IP address. So just click cPanel and you'll get your IP address. and paste that into the host box and click Quick Connect, and then OK. Port, you can leave blank or put 21. It doesn't really matter. So now here we are. Again, the left side is your computer. The right side is your server. So what we want to look for now is our demo 5 FTP credential, or our demo 5 website, excuse me. So we're going to click on that, and inside here are some files that got created by default when the domain was added. These files, we should delete them. So right click all 3 of them and delete so that they are removed. All right. So now we have nothing in here, just the folder with the 2 dots. So we can ignore that. What we need to do now is move our WordPress files that are on our desktop and drag them into here. So you can just kind of make the screen a little bit smaller. All right. So now we're just going to move our files, just drag it right on, right into this right-hand column here, and it's going to move all of our files over. This will take a few minutes, depending on the size of all the files. So I'll go ahead and pause the video, and then once this is complete, I'll come back. Okay, so it's just about completed, and it's done now. So as you can see, our zip file is now located in the root directory of the demo5.manzeri.com site. So now what we can do is go back to our cPanel, go to File Manager, and we want to go into the demo5.manzeri.com website, and we want to extract all these files out of the zip folder. To do that, simply right click and choose Extract, and then hit Extract Files, and it'll just take a couple seconds for all the files to be extracted. So all these files have been successfully extracted. Hit Close. We can delete the zip folder. We no longer need it. And then here you see the folder called Old Site Files. Now, if you click into this, you see all your files. If we click back, you see that this folder is just sitting in the root. We want all the files in the root, we don't want this folder. So what we need to do is move all of these files out. The easiest way to do that is to click the first one, hold down Shift, click the last one, come up to the top, hit Move, and then in this little box, take everything out up to the first slash, just like this, and then hit Move Files. And what this will do is it'll move everything that was in that folder up 1 level. So if you go back, here's all your files in the demo5.manzeri.com. This folder is going to be empty. If you go into it, see, there's nothing there. So we can just right click and delete that folder. And now we have all of our WordPress files on the new domain. So if we come back to our checklist, we can check this one off that we completed all those steps. Next thing we're going to do is update the wp-config file with the new database name and password that we created earlier in this tutorial. So if you look here, you see your wp-config.php file. You're going to right click, click edit, and then edit once more. And in here is the original database username and password and everything that we had set up from the old dev.manzeri.com site. We want to put in the new database username and password. So what we're going to do is go back to your cPanel, and we're going to come down to let's see, manage databases, and then we're looking for the database that we created earlier, and I believe that one right here. So we're gonna choose our Manzeri, the Manzeri 7_demo5. So we're gonna copy that, and we're gonna go back to our configuration file, which is right here, and we're gonna replace the database name. So we're gonna highlight just the database name, just everything within the quotes, not the quotes themselves, and then Control V, and it'll put it right there. And then same thing with the user. The username and database name are the same, so same thing, just highlight the user and Control V. And then password will be whatever password we created earlier. So I use December 2025. I think that was the password I used. All right, we'll see if it's right in a moment. So we'll click Save Changes, and this will update the configuration file. You can close out of that. So that's done. So we can check that off. All right, next thing we're going to do is import the database into phpMyAdmin. So that database that we exported earlier, that we sent to our downloads folder, we now need to import that into the new site. So go back to cPanel, come down to phpMyAdmin, and then we're going to click here on demo 5, which as you can see is an empty database. There's nothing there. So we're going to choose import, and then we're going to say choose file up here at the top. And then we're going to click this one right here in my downloads folder, which is the XELCG from earlier. So we're going to hit open, and then we're going to come down here and click import. And depending on the size, this may take a while. This database isn't too big, so it should just take a couple of minutes to finish up. And there it is. It's done. All right, so now the import was successful. So we can come back here and check this off. And then the last step, most likely you won't have to do this step. I need to do it because I'm changing the domain. In your case, if you're migrating to a new server and you're not changing your domain, you're keeping the same website, then you don't need to do this step. But in my case, I do. So what we're going to do here is go to the options table, the WP_options table. So it's going to be right here, options. It might not have the WordPress prefix, not a big deal, but just click on the options table, and then you'll see site URL and home URL. All we're going to do is double click on the site URL, and we're going to change dev to demo 5, push enter, and it tells you one row has been updated or affected. Same thing with the home URL, double click and change dev to demo 5 and hit enter, done. So now you can see the site URL has been updated. So I'm going to close out some of these tabs. So I got too many opened. All right, now what we're going to do is test out our website. So demo5.manzeri.com. Now, when we go to it, as you can see, it looks like there's nothing there. Not a big deal. So we're going to sign in. We're going to go to put a /wp-admin at the end. So you can see it's taking you to your WordPress admin, but when we go to the main site, there's nothing there. Not a big deal. We're going to fix that here real quickly. We need to update our permalinks. So sign into WordPress the same way you would normally sign in on your current site. Once you're in, go under settings and permalinks and click save changes. Don't make any changes, just click save changes, do it a second time, and that's all you need to do. Now open up a new tab and go to demo5.manzeri.com, and there you are. The website is right here. Now, of course, if we look at the original site, here it is, dev.manzeri.com and demo5.manzeri.com. And that's it. That's how you migrate your website over. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I also do offer migration services for anyone that is interested or looking for some assistance. You can reach out to me on my website, and I'll be happy to help out with any migrations as well.